Thank you for meeting with me. Can you say your name and talk about what you do for work?
Yeah, so my name is Lynn Tran, and I currently I got hired as a construction specialist, but it's also through a rotational program called the graduate program, and that's where so I don't really have like a typical day yet, but that's where I get to like try out different things. So right now, so last summer I inspected a project, but then also this year I've been working on roadway designs. And then also right now I'm usually out in the field working. So I'm outside taking pictures, interacting with the contractor, and basically all I do is I observe the contractors and make sure that they're doing their plan, like their works to the plans that we have and making sure everything is correct. ODOT, basically what they do is they fix like the highways on the road, but they do more than just like paving the roads. They also like work with the guardrails, or they work on, when they do roads, sometimes they need to like move the roads into the mountains because the roads might be sloping into the water or the river. So sometimes they have to like blast the mountains to move the road into the mountains essentially. But usually it's us being out in the field, like trying to make sure that the roads are safe, making sure that if there's any like obstructions or something that might make someone feel unsafe on the highways, we try to fix that.
What sort of things were you interested in when you were younger?
Yeah, so growing up, I was really into books, and I spent most of my summers in the library. But then when I got into high school, I joined the technology team, which is like really fun, and that's when I learned more about engineering. Um, my dad, he is really into engineering, so I used to talk to him about it as a kid. But after high school, I went to Portland State University to get my degree in civil engineering, and then while in college, I applied and got a few internships. So the first internship was at this place called Transportation Research and Education Center, where I worked with bicycle and pedestrian research. And then I also got an internship at the Portland Bureau of Transportation, where I worked with safety operations, and that was really fun. That was my first experience with the public agency, and I really liked it. After that, I got an internship at this traffic design company called DKS Associates, and that's where I learned like about traffic designs, which is like really cool. And then after college, I got an internship at this company called Dowell, and that's where I did like some roadway design, but then also had some construction experience and learned that I really like construction.
What's it like living in a small town?
Yeah, I definitely have saved a lot of money from like not shopping. I used to go to Washington Square every single week because I had a JCPenney coupon. So I would go every week. It was like $5 off of $15. But there's definitely like less options for like shopping and like food out here, but it's like so peaceful, and I feel like living out here, I've kind of been spoiled with like my driving because I live so close to work, and like driving here versus when I go back to the Portland area to visit my family, I think I kind of forgot how to like drive around there. Over there, it's like very hectic, and I'm like, why are people like cutting me? Why are people like not signaling when they're going in front of me? I'm so confused. But like driving around here, it's just like 2 lanes, and if you want to go in front of someone, that's like fine. But over there, you might be in the middle lane, and then like all of a sudden, a car is coming in from your right side and a car is coming in from your left side, and then like, yeah, being out here, I feel like it's definitely changed my driving, where maybe things have been a little more simple for me, but I feel like I really like it out here, and it's like very peaceful out here. A lot of people are very like adventurous, and I really like that.
How did you decide which path to take after college?
Yeah, so through my different internships, I wanted to experience both the public agency and the private organizations just so I can know which one I prefer. And while like both are great, I do really enjoy like public agency, and I've always wanted to work with like ODOT. I remember like driving with my dad as a kid, and then sometimes we would see an ODOT truck and he'd be like, "Oh, ODOT, you want to work there one day?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like that truck. I want to drive one of those trucks." But yeah, that's like how I first heard about ODOT. But after my last um, internship ended, I was like looking specifically for like construction work, and there was an opening over here which I thought was like pretty cool, and I applied for it, and luckily I got. So yeah, super happy here.
How would you describe your career journey?
Oh yeah, so for me it's been like kind of tough. Like through middle school and high school, I didn't really need to study as much because I somehow just got it. But when I went to college, everything got like super hard for me. I took 6 years for my undergraduate, which I feel like is kind of typical, but it's been like, there has been like a lot of setbacks. There was this point where a professor told me that I probably won't be an engineer, which is like, it was a very sad day for me, but I brought him a plant later to like talk to him. But it's been like a long journey for me, and I feel like you have to be very persistent and work very hard, but also like if you really enjoy engineering and if it's what you want to do, I feel like anyone can do it, really.
What advice do you have for students trying to decide what they want to do later in life?
Yeah, I feel like maybe something that they can do is explore jobs, like apply for jobs or internships, so they can like kind of get an idea of what they might be getting into, what they might be more interested in. For me, I made sure to get experience in like research, the public agency, and also like the private organization, so I could have like a better understanding of what exactly I like. But I feel like definitely exploring is like a good idea.
What does your average workday look like?
Well, I guess like typically my work week right now, being out in the field, is I wake up around 5:30, and then I try to get to the office around like 6 so I could be out in the field by 6:30 to meet up with the contractors. I ask them what like their plan is for the day, what our goals are, and then I just like stay outside and like right now in the extremely hot sun, and I like watch them, observe them, communicate with like a lot of different engineers, because there are like different people who have their hand in like their hat in the ring. I don't know what that phrase is, but yeah, it's like, yeah, sometimes I have to like interact with the public because we are driving on the highway, like, yeah, very long days. So for those days, usually I go into the office and I start working on my designs, but then also it includes like a lot of meetings with different people from different groups. For instance, like people in the environmental group, or people from district, or people in the like the structural group. And we're just like have to communicate a lot and make sure that everything is to standard, making sure that we're not accidentally or purposely doing something wrong. But it does include like a lot of meetings, and then a lot of like just working on the computer, whether like making designs on the computer, or like calculating quantities, or even like writing, what are they called? We have like this thing called like special provisions, where we like write what exactly the contractors are allowed to do. So it does include like a lot of writing, and then a lot of like design work, but we also have to like communicate a lot with like different people and always like keep everyone in the loop.
What kind of skills do you need to be successful in the work that you do?
Yeah, so, yeah, a really big soft skill that's important to have is communication, just because you have to talk with so many different people and there's like so many things to consider. And then also another skill that would be good is perseverance, because sometimes after someone gives you like their markups of your plans, it's very discouraging. You're like, oh, you marked every single page and this is a lot. So you have to be able to like push through it. And you like just know that they are like trying to help you, trying to like get the best product out there. Like they're not trying to tear you down, they're just trying to make everything better. Yeah, and also organization. That's like something that I'm still trying to get better at. But yeah, I feel like those three are very important to have.
What values are important to you personally?
Yeah, so for me, perseverance was definitely something I guess kind of grew more during college time, just because in elementary school, middle school, high school, things kind of came easy to me. So it was only when I was in college where I started to do poorly. And I even like looked at changing majors at one point. That was an interesting story, but yeah. Sorry, yeah, perseverance has definitely been like a big thing for me, just because I feel like I've had like so many moments of like failure and so many moments of doubt. And I feel like it was very hard for me to persevere since like I hadn't really failed before. I just like wanted to give up and maybe do something that I was naturally good at. But I really just had to like keep thinking about like what I want, like what exactly I want to contribute to the world, how I want to like spend my life. And that's like what got me here today.
What kinds of challenges have you encountered along the way?
Yeah, I definitely feel imposter syndrome, right? Imposter syndrome a lot. Like when I was out in the field and people would ask me questions, or they'd be like, oh, like sometimes like when I'm out in the field as an inspector, people will go up to me and say, you're in charge. I'm like, that is so scary. I am not used to being a leader. This is like very scary for me. I'm actually like very used to being a sheep and like a follower. But I feel like the people here are super encouraging and they're like so nice. And I think some people like they just like get that I need validation. So I do have like some coworkers and even like my boss. Like I didn't really get this validation before, but they like tell me, oh, you're doing a good job. So it just makes me want to like work harder and like try to live up to like being this imposter that I am. But I feel like everyone gets imposter syndrome, yeah? Like even like if you're successful in life, I feel like a small part of you still feels like surprised that you are where you are and not entirely sure if you like deserve the life that you have.
What advice do you have for students trying to decide what they want to do later in life?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but like just do it. Like for me, I'm like, I get scared a lot and I get like super nervous, but I always tell myself, you know what, you should just like try to like put yourself out there. Like I guess like the worst thing someone could say is no, which is actually pretty bad. Every time someone says no to me, I feel like sad. Maybe it's because like I struggle with saying no to other people as well. But yeah, I feel like try to put yourself out there. Like even if someone rejects you, you'll still be okay, hopefully. Definitely explore your options and maybe even like ask people about their careers. I feel like if you ask someone questions, they'd be like open to like telling you what they do, and they might even let you like shadow them. I feel like just getting yourself out there and like exploring different options, that's important to like know what you would want in the future.